let's do it.
Okay, well, tell me about your inspiration to start composing.
Well, I've I think I've always sort of written music like growing up, just kind of like singer-songwriter stuff. I've always had a bit of inspiration to do that, uh, but I never really gave it much thought, I guess. I was always a performer. Like that's kind of mainly what I did. A singer and an actor and like a stage performer. So basically the big inspiration came from me going to UBC to study opera and just kind of being in the music program and taking the music history and music theory and all these really cool courses and kind of getting opening my eyes to the possibilities of what music can actually do, and then I realized that yeah, I kind of wanted to take more of a writing route rather than only performing. So yeah, halfway through my degree, I started a double major in composition at UBC, and I've been sort of steeped in composition ever since.
Oh, okay, great. So then you graduated last year, correct?
Yeah, I did.
And so what has your year been like since graduating from UBC?
Since graduating, well, it's been good. I've been performing a little bit, and I've also been writing some film score. I've been writing uh, some musical theater as well for like a short animated film project, some songs for that, and this is was a great commission to sink my teeth into, getting to work with an orchestra again. So just a little bit of everything, and a little bit of just kind of writing stuff for myself, songs on my own. But yeah, yeah. Other than that, I've been just trying to yeah, do what I can to get my career going.
Okay, perfect. So
Yeah.
let's talk more about this upcoming concert. What is your role in the concert, and like what have you done for the music of the concert?
Yeah, so I was approached by my really good friend Greg Anderson, who also graduated from UBC. We're both in the composition program, and he offered me this arranging gig, I guess, because I think he had too much. He's a really awesome working composer in the film world. He's doing tons of really cool stuff. So, and I don't think he had the time to commit to this. So it was kind of an interesting segue for me into it because it wasn't directly from the organizers of the concert. It was kind of through the other composers that they had got. But I'm obviously super thankful. Um, Greg's always looking out for me, giving me cool opportunities. But anyways, so uh, yeah, he they got me in touch with Grace and the composers of Glitch Hikers, um, Devin Vibert and Clarice Sierron. I hope I'm saying that right. Um, so right off the bat, so the crazy thing too is that it was really quick sort of process for me. I think it was only about a month. I had about a month to uh, to work on it, which is pretty quick for like a like 7 minute orchestra piece. But yeah, anyways, basically, I had about I think 6 or 8 tracks from the video game that are it's kind of this really cool sort of pop electronic, but also sort of meditative music that I had to sort of combine together into a medley of sorts, I suppose, for the concert for orchestra, which is also interesting because it's like the orchestral sound and the sound for the game are very different. Like it's not like Zelda where the music is kind of, or for the new games I guess, is already kind of sort of like orchestral or like that sort of thing. It's like super different, um, which was a challenge in itself. But yeah, so that was kind of my role, is got these tracks and put together a medley for orchestra in a month.
Awesome. And so how did you translate the kind of difference in scoring? Like how were you able to translate the medley into kind of the orchestral texture and colors?
Yeah, I mean, it's a good question. It was a lot of just kind of experimentation, and I sort of I had a few challenges to sort of overcome in that regard, because it was like, do I try to sort of emulate the sound as much as I can, or do I just kind of take the the track and the sound that that has and sort of just inspire or an orchestral sound out of it, rather than trying to imitate the textures and trying to get into that. So I chose the latter. I think, and I think it worked really well. Rather than sort of trying to imitate the original score, I sort of, my piece is very much more sort of inspired by the song. So containing lots of the key melodies and obviously a lot of the the key um, yeah, motifs of the game, but very much just like orchestrally, and just trying to use the orchestra in a idiomatic way, and yeah, yeah,
Okay, great. So I'm not familiar with this game. It's called Glitch Hikers?
yeah. It's called Glitch Hikers, and this is the second iteration of it. So they had an original game just called Glitch Hikers, and this one is Glitch Hikers: The Spaces Between. Um, and it's this really interesting type of game. So basically, what it is it's this sort of this meditative game where there's no objective, and it's supposed to kind of put the player in sort of a contemplative state and a state of sort of removal from thought, but also thinking a lot. So you're basically a character that is on some sort of journey, and you don't really understand or know what that journey is, but along the way you kind of just meet people who talk to you about life and philosophy and everything, just bunch of different whatever it is. So, and you're on a train and you're meeting passengers on a train, or you're in a car and you're picking up hitchhikers that are talking to you, yeah, about various things. And it's sort of supposed to put you in this kind of state of calmness and reflectiveness, and yeah, yeah, and yeah, contemplative thought, I suppose, which is a super cool idea. It's nothing like anything I've ever experienced before.
Oh, that's actually that's really neat. And like
Yeah.
what's your history like with like the genre of video game music in general? Like, did you grow up playing video games and
I like a little bit. Not really though. Like I sort of grew up in a household which was like, yeah, like you can have a Wii, but anything that is gonna like sit you in front of a screen, like trying to like finish a 40-hour campaign is not really the vibe for my parents. Which is fine. I was doing so much other stuff anyways. I didn't have time to really play video games. But I played, I played your classic like Wii stuff. So, I obviously fell in love with the kind of Nintendo music Um, a lot of Mario and a lot of I guess I played like Monster Hunter a little bit and Rock Band and just sort of your like classic Wii type games, but no like first person shooters or any sort of anything else like that.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Yeah.
And so you mentioned that you got to speak with the two composers of the original soundtrack. How was that? What kind of confrontation did you have with them?
It was awesome working with them. Like we were in contact like quite a bit. They were both very present, but at the same time quite hands off to a certain degree, and wanted me to experiment for myself, which was a really cool sort of dynamic. I met with them probably about 5 or 6 times. Yeah, maybe actually maybe like 4 or 5 times within the sort of month that I was working, to kind of keep checking in and showing them what I got and making sure that they were on board and that they were happy. Um, and yeah, they gave me really lots of really great feedback and some really good suggestions, and they were just generally lovely people to kind of work with. Yeah,
Yeah, that's awesome.
yeah.
So, as an audience member who's going to be attending to the show, what should I be looking forward to?
Oh, I mean the program is just filled with both super like popular, recognizable, like epic music that everybody's gonna know. Like Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter. Um, just like these like this music for this concert is just like some of the best composers in general, in my opinion, of like our time. Really, John Williams, amazing orchestrator. You're just gonna get like some amazingly orchestrated music. Howard Shore with Lord of the Rings. Michael Giacchino, who wrote the music for Tron, who is just everybody knows who Michael Giacchino is, even if they don't know his name. All the film scores that he's done. One of my favorites, and yeah, no, I think it's going to be an extremely exciting concert. I don't think there's going to be a dull moment. I think it's just going to keep um, getting better throughout the evening. Um, yeah, just a concert full of bangers, to be honest with you.
Okay, yeah, that's that's great to hear. Well,
Yeah,
I think that gives me a lot to work with. Is there anything else you would like to share about the concert?
I think one thing that I sort of forgot to mention about my process writing, that might be interesting, is that so so basically what I ended up doing writing this piece, which was super supported by like the two composers, and they were actually really stoked on this idea that I brought, was that rather than, so there are a few sections that are obviously very, they're obviously the kind of big melodic motifs of the piece, but then a lot of the music that kind of happens in between, this sort of either meditative music or kind of transitional music, is not necessarily um, like a one specific part of the game. Like what I would do is I would sort of combine a lot of the different tracks in various ways. So I would overlay one of the melodies from one of the tracks with an accompaniment from another one, and maybe a sort of drum beat from another track, and I would kind of make this kind of mesh of all of the cool elements within the music, which is really cool. So it's almost kind of like an Easter egg sort of thing, where oh, there's a melody that pops in here from a different track, and there's a lot of layering going on, rather than just kind of section, song, transition, section, transition, which I found more kind of joyous to write, honestly, because it kind of gave me a little bit more expression